All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. So you're both good? We ready to go? We're good to go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
buddy. I'm here as to my sisters. I'm here to represent you this morning. So when they're saying foolishness, that I'll be there to be making corrections and to be telling people about themselves. It's okay. I got all of your back.
Ah, dear. Right. So this topic is a deep one, and I can see by the amount of people that's locked in right now that everyone wants to hear Wagwan. So this topic today, as I've named it, why do men tend to look elsewhere? Right? So I sent out a message to my brothers, right? All in my WhatsApp, I just sent a broadcast and I said, yo, brothers, why do men tend to cheat? Right? Why do they step out on their woman? Educate me. Let me know. What is it? Right? So I guess with my carnal mind, I'm thinking it must be maybe the woman's not stepping up. I don't know. Or the man's just fast. But listen, when I got some of the responses back, I was like, whoa. So what I'm going to do, I got almost 30 responses, right? So firstly, big up my brothers that responded. I truly, truly appreciate you all. Thank you. Because that's what's going to make today's show. All right. So let me go through some of these answers. And then obviously, you both can obviously chime in and then just let me know your thoughts on this. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So let's start this. Now, this answer came through. I feel like I want to leave that one to last because that one's just too good. I said that one needs to be in an article. Let me leave that one till last. Right. It says sometimes it's plainly physical, and sometimes they don't know why they do it. The woman could be deemed as perfect, and nothing she has done, but it's just physical. Sex is a must. He's busy, she's busy, she can't give it to you every day, and men need their release and need to fulfill it, even if it's just a 10-minute thing with a random. But men need to learn self-control, like knowing their woman, have their monthly cycle, be patient, allow her to finish. Then do your thing rather than thinking, let me go and release elsewhere while she's on. Men can dish it out, cheating on their woman, but can't take it if their woman cheats on them and will never forget it. It's something in us that we can't take. Men are very territorial, and the moment you violate his property, it's curtains. Some women draw men out because it's a challenge, especially when the man initially tells them, no, I'm married. Some women will keep pursuing. So I asked his brother, once he said that, does it boost a man's ego knowing that he didn't fall for that woman? And he said, yes, mentally they feel strengthened. So I said, okay. So there's a few points that he obviously brought. So one of the main ones, the first point is that he says, is nothing so much to do with the woman, because she could be perfect, like, you know, does everything in the household that she's supposed to do, etc. But for some men, when they do step out, it is purely just physical. They just want to jump their bones, and that's as simple as that. So what's your lot's thoughts on that?
I don't believe real men cheat, and it's really of a young mentality or a boy mentality. So in terms of it being pure physical, obviously that is like they're still going through that adolescent stage. They haven't matured. Because it is so much based on what they've learned or what they've been allowed to get away with.
Yeah.
I always have the sort of viewpoint that when it comes to sex, women control the access to sex. Men therefore only sleep with who they can, whereas women sleep with who they want.
That's, you know what? Yeah. That's an interesting point you just said that, because there's a few other comments and people have said this. It's more calculated for a woman to cheat on their man, wherefore a man will just go out and do his thing. But for a woman, they don't just free it up like that. This is like they've really thought it through first before stepping out on their man. That's interesting. Okay, but we'll get into that because, like I said, there's so much more comments that came through. Sis, what's your view on the first part that brother said, just in terms of it plainly being physical and not necessarily that the woman has done anything wrong?
If you could ever see my face through the phone. I must cook, I must clean, I'm a robot that I should be there every day to be fulfilling your need. That was my first thought, but then I had to kind of humble myself.
This is
I didn't like that. I can't even like it. I'm not trying to hear that.
Is it unrealistic for a man? Is it unrealistic for a man to think that a woman should give it up to him every night? Is that unrealistic?
In every way, shape, manner, it's completely and wholly and utterly unrealistic. Every sense of everything. It's just not. No, just stop it. I must cook. I must clean. I must raise the children. I must serve you. I must be there every day. Okay. No. You ever has that mindset, you need to sort that out.
Bro, what's your thoughts? Is it, obviously we know men are sexual beings. Like, a woman can withstand sex for a long time, whereas a man can't. So do men expect it every night?
I think it all depends on how you're viewing sex, because it's not all physical, is it? To expect it every night, obviously that is not realistic long term. Like, let's say you're in a committed marriage or whatever. So especially when you consider that if somebody's got work or looking after children or they're busy, you've got to kind of balance the whole thing out. And it may be, men see it as more on a physical, but for a woman it's more emotional. So if as long as both parties' needs are being met from time to time, or is an equal understanding, then that's fine. But yeah, I think in a way it's unrealistic to just expect just physical or for it to be a certain way every day. Yeah, I mean you've got to be willing to sort of compromise or working.
Bro, there's some sisters saying that you're not speaking truth here.
I'm not speaking truth. No, listen.
Someone saying it's not
true.
Bro,
it's okay.
Otherwise, we're talking about people have issues, and then in that case, they will cheat because we're talking of a particular condition. Was it nymphomania or something like that? So
someone
not normal, is it?
He's not being true. Men do want it every night. A sister actually messaged and said it's not unrealistic to want sex every night. Maybe everyone's sex drive is just different, is built different. Someone messaged in and said women and men are built differently sexually. So obviously no one can have it every night, but I think if a man could have it every night, they would have it every night. That's my personal opinion. And still work and still do all the things.
Listen, it takes a lot more out of a man to be performing and to do them things and function as a man. It tires you out. So imagine you're going to the gym and you can't do it. Yeah, and if even on a realistic, like look at footballers, they can't do serves, they can't do all of that. Like the night before a match, they say no, you can't get involved in that sort of activity and expect to be 100%. So realistically, it shouldn't be. If you are living like that, then you're going to be no use in out to the rest of the world. You know what I mean? And eventually, your woman won't be no use either.
Someone said that
times a week is okay, and you agree on the times, and even when you consider, okay, a woman goes through a cycle.
Yeah.
You can't have it every single day, every single week.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. you know. And if that's the case, then they will go out and cheat if they're expecting it every day. So
that is very true.
Do you understand?
Yeah, that's very true. Someone says they're bigging you up, saying that he has a good understanding of sex being emotional for women. So someone bigging you up. Someone says some women want it every night too. You're right about sex drive. It varies on the individual. Most high willing you and your spouses are matched. That's true as well, you know, because if one has a very high sex drive but the other one doesn't, that can pose a problem as well. So I don't know. Sis, what's your thoughts?
I think I agree with that. Like for women, it is emotion. So if you can master or tap into your woman's emotions, then she might free it up more often for you. But with regard to, like, you know, if you're on your woman's on her cycle and now you're going to seek elsewhere, like that one ain't registering with my head, because you wait and then we will proceed. So
you know, the funny thing is, right, I spoke with one brother and he said he spoke to his missus and he said that, okay, I want to introduce another woman. So his whole thought process is polygamy, right? And when I asked him, I said, okay, so what, does your woman agree with all of this? He was like, yeah, like she agrees, she understands. I was like, okay, cool. Now his whole thing about introducing another woman into the relationship is because he's like, oh, but you know, she's on her monthly cycle. You know, I'm a man, I need my ting. So when she's on a cycle, the other woman can obviously give it to me. But in my mind, I'm thinking, raw, like, what you're not understanding, and maybe this might be news to some men listening.
I think this one's going to shock a lot of men. They're going to learn something new with this point.
Women would know this. What I'm about to say, women already know this. To some men, it might shock you, right? When women are joined together, right, especially if they're in one household, your cycle is the same. It starts to match. It starts to sync together. So if my period comes on the 18th of March, best believe that sister friend period is going to come on the 18th of March as well. Like, it's something that clearly the Most High has done naturally within us, that when we're together, even friends that you're close with, you'd be like, rah, I'm on my cycle. Rah, I'm on my cycle too, because you're synced together.
Sometimes we judge it. If I just, when are you on again? Okay, yeah. No, I must be.
Exactly.
So
this might be a shock to some brothers listening. That's what naturally happens. Women sync together. So to think that you're gonna have an ex-wife and that because she's on her cycle this month, so I can, you know, be with the other one. It's not gonna happen that way. It's not. You have all 10 wives down the line and they're all synced together. It's it's not gonna happen. But yeah, anyway, I digress. People laughing, sister friend. Someone else mentioned he is talking the truth for what he said. That's to you, bro. So there's people, you know, but hold on, someone said brother is dragging. I think in terms of the whole men being very sexual beings and wanting it every night, I think for a man that they would. But I hear what you're saying, bro. Like for someone who, especially that they do physical activities for work or whatever the case is, it will weaken them to have it every night. So it's not realistic in that sense. But I don't know. I digress. Okay, let's move on to the next comment. Although, wait, there was something else that this brother said within his comment. So he said that men can dish it out, cheating on their woman, but God forbid a woman cheats on their man. It is like hell has broken loose. So, bro, explain to me, how come a man can step out on his woman, but if a woman does it to him, it's like next levels?
Wow, that is like, to be honest, I don't understand the whole principle. Personally, I've never cheated on anyone.
Yeah.
And, but I think the acceptance or non-acceptance I can probably relate to on a certain level. But I believe it's more, a man has an ego and a sort of rep to uphold. So for him, the worst possible thing that someone could do is to literally, let's say it's your wife, or if somebody that of significance to you, is very difficult to continue with that relationship with that person, and not feel a certain way. It's damaging his ego. Men love to feel like they are the king, or do you understand? So I think it's more to do with that pride thing.
Yeah.
Not really so much emotional, but it's the fact of knowing, if it happened once, you could do it again. And it's more I suppose women accept it because of their desire and their need to have a man in their life. But then I think it's a bit more, they have so much options, or especially if you've got a brother, you know what I mean? It's not going to be enough for you, just move on to the next. It's completely seen in two different lights, in two different ways. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a man's ego. It's wow, you know what I mean? The thought of actually having somebody go out and do that to you is harder to forgive for a man. I mean, you really got to be the most
Bro, this one might get you back up, but people they're messaging in, and they're just being real. Someone said if he's never cheated, that means he's up in his age, or no woman out there finds him attractive. What do you think of that comment?
No, I mean, listen, as I said, no real men don't cheat. There is a moral compass within me. When I say I haven't cheated, I have had experiences, but I've always been upfront.
Yeah.
I've always been upfront with people. So they know exactly what the situation is. I would say things like, we're having fun, or it's complicated, or, you know what I mean? I would never ever go from one person cheat on and they know that we're together. So in that sense, I haven't cheated as such, because cheating is when you do things behind somebody's back without them knowing, having no knowledge. Do you understand? And they believe that you're in a committed relationship. I wouldn't say I've been an absolute angel, but it got to a stage for me where I said, you know what, I can't do this anymore, because I grew up, I suppose. So understanding that we go through different stages, in development, our hormones and whatever are high when we're young. So, do you understand? But to stay in that, you know what I mean? I think there's a passage in the Bible where it says that when I was young, I thought as a child, I did things as a child, but it should get to a certain stage where, because of knowledge, you say, no, I can't do this no more. You understand? This ain't even worth it, because when you think of all the emotions and all the people that you're hurting through your actions, it's really selfish. It's really selfish. And remember, it's the day when you're going to either be in need, and you're going to be judged. You're going to be, people are going to have you a certain way. Like,
bro, people calling you an honest player. They're saying, be real.
I'm not a player at all. I understand the game.
Do you know what I'm picking up on here? Yeah. There's an underlying tone with the women that there's so much skepticism, and so like even bro's giving his opinion on what he thinks, and people are just calling him out like, no, you're lying, you're this or that. But it's so ingrained in us women that what the scenario is when it comes to cheating, like all men, all that kind of stuff. All men cheat, men are this. I'm hearing some underlying kind of tones with regard to that. So.
Do you know what as well though? That comment came from my brother. Some of them are coming from the sisters, but that's coming from my brother.
Oh my Lord.
That's the mentality. Mentality.
You brothers are very special. Very, very special.
Another brother said the lies. You brothers are not helping each other, you know. Oh, mate, you lot are making me laugh. All right, so another comment that came through said, if you have a girlfriend and you can get away with cheating and having some variety, then what's stopping us from not cheating if our values aren't that way inclined? Well, I mean, they said it bluntly, didn't they?
Say that again. If
So they said, if you have a girlfriend and you
Yeah.
can get away with cheating and having some variety, then what's stopping us from cheating if our values aren't that way inclined? So in other words, if we don't have no moral grounds, then why shouldn't we cheat?
Yeah, nothing's stopping you. Go and do it. Have faith another day.
that's another.
Worldwide, global, every end, every street.
You know, I'm
Go
finished
and
today,
do Wahala.
boy. I'm so finished today. Bro, what's your comment on that one?
Yeah, I believe obviously that is another that is the same mentality that I'm talking about. Where, come on, I learned just through having children and observing children, or even how young people are. They do it. What they, the thought was that one psychologist said that children do what they want to do because they just want to do it, or because they can get away with it. And that is always going to be the thing that it's really from a spoiled mentality or spoiled behavior. So this is just kind of disclaimer out there. If you're there spoiling your youths, they will become cheaters. You know what I mean? If you're going to turn a blind eye and allow them or permit them to do certain things and just have what they want, it's going to get to a stage where they're going to think, well, this is normal. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do whatever I want. It feels good, so why not have it? That's the mentality behind, just giving them sweets or wanting to stay on a computer game all day, or if they can get away with it, they will push, and it's a game. It's
what? Okay, what?
I've got a question because when men do cheat or whatever, like how do they come home and act calm, cash, like it's like nothing happened, and still keep it calm and cool and like it's nothing? Because some women don't detect it for a long time. Like don't the conscience. Is there no guilt? Is there no like I feel bad that I'm hurting my woman? Because you don't want her to step out on you. If she did, you would feel away. So is there no, where does the conscience come in with all of this?
As I said, they got a big support system. They've got their bros that, they're egging them on. They're saying, yo, you know what I mean? They're having conversations like, yeah, what about rare? And they're like, yeah, you know what, I got that last week. And so they've got a support system behind them. It's like a silent code, where they just have this. So if somebody's there egging you on and saying, yeah, you know what I mean, you're the man, you're going to continue and be that player or be that guy that, when you're, there's very, even in the music you hear it. You have Shaggy. A man would deny it wasn't me. You know what I mean? Even when he's cool in the act, it wasn't me. So they're almost programmed to have these responses and not feel no way, because for them it's not a feeling thing. It's all physical.
So what do you think of this? Because someone just messaged in, this is a brother saying this. It said, all right, art says, mothers will say to their sons, don't settle too soon. Enjoy your youth, enjoy life. Don't settle down so soon. So if you're, as a boy child, you're hearing that from your mother, that automatically will make you feel like, sure, man, I can sleep with whoever. Because
how does that translate into cheat? That don't, for me, translate into go and cheat. That translates into take your time when we're finding someone, because you might need to get a job, career, this, that, and other beforehand, and then you find someone and settle down. That don't tell me go sleep with Sharisha, Shakisha, and Sharon.
I can't even breathe right now.
That is no excuse, and I don't think anybody has ever used that excuse. Right? My mum said to cheat, or my mum said, yeah, I shouldn't take things seriously. Because if you tell any woman this, she's not going to want to, comply with those terms and conditions.
These
because
comments are killing me right now.
The whole thing is that they are playing a game, and they're playing to win. What is the prize? Whatever they're after. And once they get that, if that's the end goal, then probably they won't be around for much longer, or they certainly won't take it as serious because they're playing games other places or other places. You know, so it's a mentality that is something that is accepted and widely celebrated amongst men, as say with their friends saying, yeah, you know what I mean? This is, and I remember the first time that we used to literally be on the road and it's like, yo, talk to Rere, go talk to her. And, you know, and you would talk to her and realize, rah. So, as I said, the mentality is that it's a game for men. They only go after and they will make any attempt. Some of them won't take no fun. Some guys play the long game. Do you understand? That as they get what they want, that was the whole point of the whole game. You know what I mean? To conquer. It's like we're hunters.
But you see how it's a wholly and purely selfish act. The man is just thinking about what is reflected at him in the mirror. So let me give you this. I've got this a family friend that I grew up with. He had his woman. He had a child with her. Blah blah blah. He then cheated on her with her sister. He then had a child with his sister. So they're siblings and cousins at the same time.
Bloody
and,
hell.
do you know what I mean? Like, are you thinking? Don't you remember in secondary school, like the amount of fights that were happening between women or the girls because that's my man and he don't want you. That kind of thing. Like, there's no thought of the relationships that could break down because of it. Households that you're going to mash up, this, that, and the other. It is a purely and wholly selfish thing on the part of a man to do that.
Yeah.
Someone said that your answer wasn't fully, your question, wasn't fully answered. And I'm trying to remember because so much has been said right now, right? But
I was talking about the conscience. How do they manage? Does the conscience pick it? They manage. How do they come in all composed like nothing happened, and they know they're doing madness? So
someone did say yes, but how do they look on your woman and act easy? Okay. Bro, answer that for me. There's people that want to come in onto this call. So I have to bring in some more people on top of you two. Bro, let me know. Like, okay, so a man steps out, he does his thing, comes back and acts easy, like nothing has happened. Like, how do men do that?
Oh, I feel like I answered that, but this is it. A case of if you get caught, deny it. I mean, this is why I mentioned that song by even sometimes when it's blatantly obvious, they'll come with some sort of excuse. It's like they've either got this ready, you know what I mean? They know exactly what they're going to say, or they look for some kind of way to justify the situation that they're in. So, it's understanding this is who I want to be. For most people, you would call narcissistic or a narcissist. It's about them. It's all self-centered. And that's the type of person that you're going to get. You know what I mean? That's the person that you're dealing with. So with a narcissist, you will never, ever get any kind of commitment, they will never change unless they decide that it's time to change or something happens.
I think someone said...
I've never met a narcissist that has changed his ways, but you know what I mean? Who knows?
Someone said they are compartmentalized. Did I say that correctly?
Decompartmentalized.
Yeah, is that right? They separate love from sex, basically.
Yeah.
So, okay, I hear that. So, oh my gosh. Okay, give me a second, guys. Let me add somebody else. Because everybody is on this today. We are rolling with it today, guys. All right, 1 second. Let me bring on the first person that said they wanted to come on. 1 sec. Right. And you better answer too, right? I'm coming to bring you in right this second.
Nabaya.
All right, let me merge you in. Okay, bro. What's your thoughts on this? Because you wanted to say something. What's your thoughts?
I'm loud and clear,
You're live and clear.
Okay. So what is the subject about cheating, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when it comes to cheating, you know, we know that it's the past, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? It's something that we don't want to do no more, you know?
So what do you mean it's something you don't want to do? As in where your mindset is now?
Yeah, because we know that the Most High has said that we're not meant to do that. It's called adultery.
So what about a man who, in the world, or maybe prior to the truth, what would force them, or not so much force, but what would make them?
Because I'll be straight up. I've cheated before, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
okay, so what drove you to cheat on your woman at the time?
So basically, it was a thing where, at the time, I'm not gonna lie, like it's can't like I don't even know if it's like it's beast mode, like it's like kind of like a beast mode mentality.
Was it something?
I don't see how you don't even know your reasons for why you did what you did. It's just they're struggling to be given reasons.
Hey, Sharp, stay out of it. Stay out of this one. I'm trying to get, you know, I'm trying to gather my foot for that. He's like, just totally baiting me up, like, no. Like, I think, yeah, man just do it because they can, innit? I think it's just like, you know, like kamikaze kind of type of level. It's like, bro, like, why are you doing that though for that? And it's like almost like as if you don't understand. It's like almost you have no understanding. Basically, you have a beast mentality. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because like, who really like? Because I'll give you an example here. I'll give you one big example. When I cheated, yeah. Do you know I was proper on my woman to be like, right, you're cheating, you know, you're cheating. Like, how am I on you thinking that you're cheating when I've just cheated? Like, I've just cheated on you, yeah, and I'm proper on you to be like, no, you've done something. Like, can you understand? Like, does that kind of like? I don't even know if that you can even fathom that. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, raw. Like, why am I on you? I cheated on you, you know. I know what I done.
That's
but then
you projected it onto your woman.
Yeah, I don't know if she's done something, but I'm paro, and I'm thinking, raw. Like, you're doing things.
Insecurities.
Yeah, because it's almost like you make an excuse to be like, because I've done what I've done, you're doing something. You get what I'm saying? Not knowing whether it's done or it's not done. You get what I'm saying? You see that cheating thing, yeah? Trust me, that's a curse, man. Yeah, the cheating thing's a curse, man. I'll be straight up with you, man. That cheating thing is like a curse from hell, fam. Yeah? You're meant to be with the person. You're meant to be with a person and just stay with that person. And that's why, Nabaya, the other day when you asked me the question, I said, the reason why I think men cheat, yeah, because it's because they don't want to be with the one person. They wanna exercise themselves. They want to exercise themselves with other things that they want to discover and explore. But you can't discover and explore. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't discover and explore. Like, if you're committed to one person, that's like saying, when the children of Israel, we have our God, innit? So you shouldn't want to try to discover and explore because our God's the proper thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, our God's the God of gods. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, when you're looking out for other people, you're going to find that when you cheat, yeah, I guarantee you, the girl that you cheat with, yeah, she ain't nothing compared to the woman that you're with.
Which a lot of the comments that came through said.
Yeah, she ain't got nothing
if
on.
that's the case, then why do it though?
She don't cook.
Okay, yeah. Why jeopardize it? If you know cheating on your woman, she does everything for you, cook, clean, house is in order, like everything is done for you, everything's on the plate, on the platter. You go out and you cheat, you come back like everything's cool, but you're jeopardizing the fact that you could lose her, lose everything. This girl that you went off to go and cheat with don't do half the things, if even a fraction of what your woman does. Why risk that?
Because man's dumb. I'll be straight up with you, like, man's like fully dumb, like. Yeah, like you're stupid, like man's dumb. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Before I came to the truth, yeah. Before I came to the truth and stuff like that, yeah. Trust me, man. That kind of scenario is what like kind of like heated up the moment, and like the most I kick man's bum and push man into the truth with that kind of scenario. Still, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
And like and when it was going on. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a mad one, and I saw it. Like I saw it. It's like, oh, like why did man do that? Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you're dumb. Just learn the Most High's word, fix up, and move straight. You get what I'm saying?
Let me go until I've got a next caller wanting to come.
Anyway, yeah. All right, cool.
All right, well, thanks. Goodbye, ya Allah. There's a comment that came through. So it says, it should be the consequences. Might sound fun, but everything has a price. STDs, multiple baby mothers, baby mama drama for 18 years, barely enough money to support yourself or children, bitter children that didn't have enough of you. The list is endless. The next comment says, older men encourage younger men to be gallus, but don't tell them about the downsides. That is so bloody true. The consequences is very deep, right? Because even the brother I was speaking to, he was going through the same thing. And what I realized when we were speaking is that, now he already has baby mama drama, because what tends to happen is the woman that they cheated with now has caught feelings. So something that was just purely physical now is turned into something where now that woman that he cheated with now wants him in this big relationship. And obviously that can't be because he already has a wife and children at home. So these are the consequences that men have to understand. It's all well and good having fun and, you know, you're flinging it out there and doing your thing. But the consequences now is if you now get that woman pregnant, now you are stuck. But I don't think, obviously in the act, this is not something that they think about, right? Let me go on to the next comments. I'm coming, bro. I'm going to call you back in a second. Let me just read through these comments real quick. Men think they have craft. Women is craftier. So when the man says they are top players, women play the best game. Wow. That's guilty conscious to know you just cheat and blame it on others. What's your comments on that one?
You know what? I agree with that. I think that women, if you can't, when it comes to that, women are so calculated. Women can be master manipulators. So I think with regard to cheating, no one ain't slick like a woman will be slick. So this whole conversation, not to say women don't cheat, you know, and it's probably might be the reason it might be different, but women will do it and they will do it very, very well. Some women. Man has to go and get private investigator to kind of catch her out.
Investigator. Let's do this. Wonderful, bro. Can you hear us?
Hold on, 1 second.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are clear.
Yes, how we doing?
Your comments have been killing me.
I don't know what's going on. It's like it's turning into some Cheaters Olympics or something. I don't know.
What's your comments? What is your comments?
No, I want to first and foremost say men and women cheat at the same rates, you know, but there's differing reasons. I say one of the main reasons, and at least in my, I won't say experience, but in understanding, is with men, it's like and it can happen in the opposite gender as well. There's like a thrill-seeking element to it. So there's like someone mentioned it before, but because the culture is men are always pursuing girls, once they settle down, they might miss that heat of the moment. And they might continue to pursue that heat. And when they don't have it, it's like they start to yearn from it. And I guess that's proper emphasized when, and there's another element to it as well, when the woman you're with don't do certain things that let's say, an ex-partner did, but that also happens with the opposite gender as well. So it's very similar reasons, but on the other side with women, there tends to be more of like an emotional element to it. So with guys, we wouldn't even like the person we're cheating. With women, you'd find out she loves him and all of that sort of stuff. So there's many elements to it. There's not just one reason. It's not just because men are insecure or men ain't got self-control. There's a plethora of reasons as to why people would cheat. It could be emotional sensibilities. It could be sexual desires. It could be your missus is annoying, or like it could be like so many different reasons.
There's
it takes self-reflection.
That you actually said, which I'm going to read that now as you are.
Oh yeah.
Give me a second. Let me just bring on the other brother because he's getting on my
case
now.
Go.
1 second, guys. Well, whoever thought this one topic would explode like this? All right, let's see if I can get him on now. Hopefully his phone rings. All right, 1 second. Okay, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But I'm getting on your nerves.
1 second. Let me just read my brother's comment first before you say your piece. Because, bro, there's something you said yesterday. I said, okay, that's real life. So you said there's two main reasons. One, thrill seeking. Being in relationship doesn't have the same thrill of the chase or thrill of the hunt. You get a testosterone boost and the heat when pursuing a new woman, a feeling that can be compared with drugs. Two, attraction. He may no longer find his wife attractive or never found her to be that attractive in the beginning. Also, sexual desires, urges play into it as well, especially if you have had partners in the past with a more colourful, adventurous bedroom life. Those memories, wants and desires may still be there, and if your partner isn't satisfying you the same way an ex-partner did, that could cause an eruption of desires. This can occur with both genders. And the third point is, well, some people just trip up. So that was your comments, bro. I think he's gone now. He's just come off the phone. But anyway, DJ Sha'al, what's your comments? Because you've been blowing up my phone this morning, boy. What are you saying? Who you coming to cuss?
No, I was, you know what? I was actually just listening until I heard the comment of how do men cheat and then come home and act normal?
Okay, so that's what got you. So what's your comment with that one then?
The last caller hit the nail on the head. I wasn't even going to come back on again. Like, as he said, both men and women do the same thing. Women just can conceal it. So the numbers, if you were to do a tally, man would obviously come across as more. Yeah. Maybe by even 80%. 80 to 20 would probably be. But it's the case of knowing and getting caught. That's all it is. So because, for example, if you look at the situation, a man might go out there, be chilling or sitting down, whatever, with someone else. They have to sneak and look at their phone and do all whatever they're doing. A woman who's cheating with a man, a lot of the time, their partner can ring them and they can answer their phone in front of their man.
Okay. Wow.
You understand? You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Gosh.
So it's like a man would accept a woman who's got a man who's cheating, because to a man it's like, right, yeah, I've got a next man's girl. Like it's a trophy sort of thing. As someone said is in your comment, that it's a thrill. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think I said it to you when you first come up with the topic. It's in everyone's fleshly desire, you know.
Oh yes, you did say that. Yeah.
Because of obviously when you're looking at it on a truth level, and I wish you had someone from in the world on there.
I'm trying.
But when you're looking at it from a truth aspect,
everyone, it's in all flesh. Because when you look at cheating, because only because we're putting that word into a specific category or box, we look at cheating as going out there and laying with someone. In the truth, fornication is a much broader circle.
Yeah.
So woman putting on certain clothes and dressing up certain way to go out there to get man's attention is still cheating. They just do their thing. They just do their thing differently.
That is a good point.
Man go out there to try and get trophies. Like, yeah, I'm gonna bag that one. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? There ain't necessarily no emotion in it. It's just a thrill, as someone said. But women still put on certain clothes. It's like you think to yourself, how come back in the days of raving, everyone's got a short skirt on or an itch-up dress? There's much more to style than that, but it's because they want to look a certain way, they want certain eyes, and women won't admit that. That's the thing. But subliminally, you want people looking on you.
Yeah.
But when the attention gets too much now, that's when it's a problem. But then there are some that go a bit further. So when you're looking at the aspect of cheating, it's like both sides do it, but it's just in different levels and different ways of doing it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, it's in everyone's flesh, but men tend to want to go for, as they would say, the kill. And then, as I said, it's not an emotional thing, but as you said, sometimes the other side get a bit closer and closer, and so forth.
That's the only thing.
But if you look at, even when you look at, and I don't even like to compare ourselves to no other species, but every male animal does the exact same thing.
That's what you said to me, yeah. You said it's
something that got implanted from the fall. You know what I'm saying? Every male animal or species does exactly the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But we have to just learn how to be in control of the flesh. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But in the world, obviously, you're not thinking on that aspect. You got some people that don't fall for the flesh in the truth. Remember, some people have higher sex drives than others.
Yeah.
Some people want it regular, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? Some people are satisfied with just once a month, once every 3 months or whatever. Some people ain't. It's just, you know, but as for aspect in the truth, you just got to subdue yourself. If you're out in the world, they just need to learn that you're taking on certain things, you get me? But that's a next story. that's a podcast, you get me?
Yeah, no, for sure, boy. Oh, gosh. Yeah, thanks for that, bro.
But, sure, hold it down.
Man.
What's your thoughts on that? Both of you, actually, what DJ Sha'al was just saying. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's very accurate. Like it's the truth. Like women do cheat, and women will be more calculated with it. And you know, like I get everything that he's saying is true. But the topic was, why do men do it? All right.
Oh gosh. It's a few comments obviously coming through. So many comments, my word. Someone said self-hatred has mentality. He is not worthy of having a faithful woman. I guess quite a few comments have come in regards to well, like I said, self-hatred, sorry, can't get my words out. Paranoia is what Gabaya Allah said earlier. And what's the other? Low self-esteem, that's the one. So these are things that I didn't really realize that would be innate in some men. When I think in them kind of words, I always associate it with women. I never really associate it with men. So I guess maybe that aspect, not to obviously, you know, that shouldn't be the reason why you should cheat, but that's got some elements to it. I'm going to bring on my other brother, who I'm so glad that you've agreed now to come on, because you was the original person that I wanted to, just based on your situation. So, bro, I'm going to bring it in right now. Guys, bear with me while I bring my brother on. Because I need to hear the real of the real okay, with this. Like, I want to overstand levels to this cheating thing. My brother, one second.
Yes, my
I just
family.
merged
Yes,
you
my
in.
family.
All right, bro. I have merged it into the call. Thank you so much, because I know you were skeptical at first, but I said
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to hear
yeah.
the real of the real, because it's not just about, you know, oh, why do men cheat? There's something that has happened. Why? So of course, yes, we can establish there's some men who are always on heat and they just want to do their thing, you know. But then there's the other aspect to it, to a man who is in a committed relationship, who loves his wife dearly, that sometimes can be driven to cheating, and not necessarily because it's an ego boost or whatever the case is this because things are happening within their relationship and they feel like, I guess, I don't know, like they can't somewhat express it to their wife or whatever the case may be. So instead, they will step out and get the, I guess, the attention or the love that they've been yearning for from their wife,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, true.
So let me know, bro, your experience. Talk to me. Be real with
All right.
me.
Firstly, good morning, everybody. Good morning. But the guy just said a while ago, boy, I'm so 100% correct. So 100% correct, you know. But the main question is, why does men cheat?
Yes.
A lot of people just say men can't help it and all that, but sometimes you got to do it like inside the home, you know. Yeah, because, and also it's about age as well, because when you're young, you're just naive and do all sorts of things. But the older you get more experience. Right, my experience, boy. Women at home now, they don't pay the attention to men. And like basically men got same feeling as women. So women just think, oh, because as a youth growing up, your parents tell you, oh, you have to be strong, you can't be emotional, you know? You can't make no one see you cry and all that. So men just grew up to be hard and can't express emotion. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Okay. So, boy, my experience now, boy, I got my wife at home. You know what I'm saying? And things happen outside. I didn't want it to happen, but I didn't get the attention I wanted. Not to say what I done is right, you know?
Yeah.
But if your partner at home is not giving you the attention, you're going to go out there and seek it. Yeah. Ladies, I'm not saying what I done is right, you know, but that tends to happen with men, because we can't go and say, oh, you're not giving me the affection or the love. You're going to say, this guy is weak. Sorry, I got a coffee. This guy is weak and all that. So, you know, I go out there, things happen, and, you know, now I've learned as a boy, you know, I shouldn't have done it. But this is what tends to happen with men. We don't think, because...
But that's very key in what you just said there, bro, which I think all the brothers listening now do have to take heed to, because men are raised to not express their emotions, their feelings, whatever the case is. In your case, obviously you stepped up because at that point you didn't feel like you could go to your wife and say to her, yo, babe, I feel like you're not giving me enough attention. We're not doing enough maybe in the bedroom. We're not, you know, spending enough time together, having enough conversation, whatever the case may be. Instead, obviously you've done what you've done. But that's very key. And obviously we always hear communication is key to any relationship. Is don't feel no way to express, as a man, don't feel no way to express your feelings, your emotions to your woman. So she knows that, okay, babe, I'm sorry. You know, I've been getting caught up with the children, the school runs, the this, the that, the blah, blah, blah. Let me make that time for you. Thank you for letting me know. That's something that we do all need to do within our marriages. But go.
Yeah,
continue,
communication
bro,
is a key for it. It's very important, communication. And I'm saying, cause if the communication was there, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But it depends on what age you are as well, you know, to be honest. Because the older you get is more experience and you understand life.
Yeah.
And you don't do certain things again. I think someone in the chat said about the older you get, men don't cheat or something like that. But that makes sense. But the younger you are, you're just naive and just do silly things.
Yeah.
Growing up, you learn and have more experience. You know what I'm saying? But men, in general, men do cheat. Some of them can't help it. It's just in their nature.
Yeah.
Is it?
I do hear that a lot. A lot of people do say that is this, like the last caller, is innate in men. It's like from creation, and every male species is like that's how men are. Whether you're a lion, a tiger, this or that or whatever, it's just in the man. But then I guess also it's about self-control as well. So
another thing as well. Now, back in the days when I was younger, I used to ask. I was younger, you know. I do a lot of things. I ask women like girls. Suppose you get a man thing so one night, what would you do? I was shocked to hear what they say. They will go hard all over the whole place. You see it? But that brother previously on the line, man, he just said everything was on my mind.
Yeah.
Everything. He was like 100% spot on. And ladies, not all men cheat, you know. We grew up and just be a man.
Yeah.
But we have to learn, innit?
Yeah.
We have to learn, innit?
I've got a question for brother here.
Yeah.
Bro, do you think like the dynamic of relationships between like black men and women, do you think that black women are raised to be wives or to know how to sustain a husband in that kind of state? Do you think that could play a part?
That's a tricky question because you got modern days women and you got the old school women. Like my grandma. They're militant to their husband. Yeah, although the man them go on with all the foolishness. But these modern days women are different.
Yeah, they are, bro. Bro, let me just
different in the sense where
one second, guys. Forgive me, sorry. Because it's about to cut off. Yeah, it's gonna go to the ad break. So let it go into the ad break and then hold your thoughts and then we'll come back, yeah?
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry guys. The thing goes into its ad break. But yeah, it'll be like a couple of minutes and then we'll go straight back in. That's a good question, man.
Because I'm just thinking, like, you know, with black women, I wasn't raised to be a wife.
Yeah.
So we don't know necessarily what we're doing in that dynamic. We don't know the things.
Oh, still alive?
No.
Oh,
yeah, we don't know the things that could hinder us, what we're supposed to do, how to, you know, sustain a man. So that might play a part into why men feel so unfulfilled in marriage relationships in the black community, anyway.
Boy, when I say still, you see, this society with social media is messing up young people. And they don't want to get married. They don't want to settle down. It's about the Instagram, you know? But
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's all about how much likes and views they get. So they're not ready to settle down these modern women. Because I can't put an age on it. You know?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But
would you say that was the right stance then, the stance of our grandparents? Because my granddad he stayed all over the place, but my gran, she was loyal to the very end. So do you think that they just didn't call it out? Do you think that modern women should more be like that? Let the man do what he's doing and we just stay faithful regardless?
That's a good question, you know. But when you look at that now, when you look at it now, it doesn't sound right. If a man cheats on a woman and she gets settled with it, it doesn't sound right or looks right. But if you check the percentage of marriages back in those days, it lasted longer than now, isn't it?
Yeah, much more.
Because the woman stick through fire, lava ground, every local madness, but they stuck together and they lasted. But now,
was she happy? That's the thing nowadays. Women, they're not gonna if they're not happy, they're just like, no, they're going to call it out. And they'll move on seeking happiness.
I think those days they were happy, but to an extent. But true, it's more because first world countries are more built up in it. So women have more rights and privilege and have more access to jobs and more independency. Yeah, so women tend to say, you know what, I'm leaving, I can do it on my own. And it just mash up everything. You see what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
Yeah, so I think when we make an oath in front of God, we stick it to it through thick, you know, through the vows, you know, thick and thin, we stick with each other and work it out. But, you know, men and women are totally different because biologically men are just sexually driven and women are not like that. A small percentage are, but not a lot.
So we are, but just in different ways. So we'll put on the tight ass clothes, hoping that a man's going to give us attention. So we just do it, but differently. It's on our minds too.
True. Just done it in a different way. That's true.
And relax.
Gosh, it's
This stuff,
deep. You lot make sure you hold that thought, you know, because we have to say all of this live.
it might disappear. It might disappear.
Shall I let you begin once we come back in, yeah?
I not even go deep in my life.
Again.
I not even go deep in my life because I'm thinking I'm supposed to speak. But
no, don't go too deep. Don't go too deep.
No, no, how much people listening?
Boy, I feel about 100 something at the point.
Right.
All right, I think we are back. We're back. Let me know I'm coming through clearly, guys. Those that are locked in right now. Having a deep convo during this break, man, I tell ya. Right, before we begin, let me just make sure I am coming through clearly. So just let me know, guys, that's listening, that you can hear me, and then of course we'll begin. Shah, you had the question, right?
Yeah.
To my
so
brother.
I was just saying, like, do you think within the construct of like a black relationship, black man, black woman, that black women, are they raised to be wives? Are we raised to know how to sustain a man in a relationship and to know, you know, when he's feeling unfulfilled and how to communicate? I don't think we're taught that one, or I wasn't, as a woman. So maybe that kind of it helps with the a man feeling unfulfilled. That could be a reason.
Well, I was saying, like, modern days women are different compared to, like, women back in the days, like my grandma, because they were more, like, militant to their husband. And you said that if they were happy, but I think, yeah, they were happy, but not that really happy, 50-50, I guess. But if I check the percentage, like, those women who stayed loyal to their husband in them days, the marriages were compared to these women, modern women now. Because, as I said, social media, and this is a first world country, and a woman got loads of opportunities to do whatever they want. So any little thing happen, they say, I'm independent, I can go, I can manage, I can do it on my own, and tell them to F off, you know?
Yeah.
But they have to remember that they made that a vows to God, and they have to stick by their man through thick and thin. So, with these modern women, it's not really, you can't be trained to be a wife. You have to just observe and go to your grandparents or your mom, hear what their thoughts are, you know? You can't go to them friends like nowadays, because they're not going to tell you the right things. They're quick to tell her leave his ass.
Yeah. Yep.
But then it sounds like then women, we should just be train track. That you should be choo-chooing over me whenever you feel. And I should
Sorry, say that again.
I was saying, it sounds like you're saying us women should be a train track. Like, you can just walk all over me, drive all over me, and then we should just put up and shut up.
No, I'm not saying that, you know, but what I'm trying to say is, if you check the levels back in the days, ask anyone this about their grandparents, that they're always together, 24 years together, compared to nowadays. I say what the man them doing now is right, you know, all men, you know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But they have to stick with their husbands or their partners. Yeah, and work things out. Not quick to say, I'm leaving his ass. You know? Yeah. And that does mess up everything if you have a youth together, you get me? Just try and work it up. But because we got this is a first world country, UK, America, Australia, and women have got loads of advantages, job opportunities, and they've said they're independent and them watch Beyonce and all them things. They're quick, you know? They're quick to say, oh my God.
Independent
just mess up there, get me. When I say, I have daughters, you know, I don't want a man to treat them bad.
Yeah.
But this word is that double standard. Because my son now, I said to him, son, when you grow up, you know, that's why you second with one woman, you just check out the fields first, you get me? And then they have daughters, I don't want a man, because, you know, it's like a double standard thing.
Yeah.
But my girls, I'm going to go them now and say, look, search for a nice husband, you know, and you know, just don't give it away like that.
Yeah, it is a double. Yeah, you're right. It is a double standard. It definitely is. I guess it's like for a woman to cheat on a man, it's like all hell has broken loose. But for a man to do it, it's like, oh well, you know, that's just a man thing. That's what they do. So yeah, it is definitely a double standard. Bro, I wanted to ask you, obviously, with you know what you went through. You know, once you went to your wife and said, look, you know, this is what happened. Did you explain to her, obviously, the why you did it, and did she understand? Did she have the understanding? You know, which I guess kind of would have humbled her to say, "Okay, I understand why you did what you did."
Well, so I big up my wife still because, boy, not many women would just sit there and take that, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, you have to be a man. You have to find the inner strength to go to your wife and explain to her what you've done, and hopefully she forgive and forget. Maybe not forget, but forgive, you know.
Yeah, forgive definitely. Yeah,
But yeah, it wasn't easy. But I explained everything, and she understood.
What would you say were the key points for you that she could look at and be like, you know what, yeah, I was lacking in this, or I was lacking in that. What was it for her, would you say, that she took it humbly to say, do you know what, okay, I hear what you're saying?
Well, first and foremost, I don't go too deep still, but obviously I got a child outside.
Yeah.
You know, but I was in the same situation as a youth. My dad had me outside, you get me? And I didn't get the attention.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So end of the day, you know, I risk everything with my youth outside to make sure his father is there for him.
Absolutely.
Because no child out there want to grow up and their father is not around.
Exactly.
You see me? So
exactly.
Me take my own self-initiative and find the inner strength and, you know, talk while I go on. And so we can give the youth the attention indeed. His father's not around their children, especially boy children. You know, it's happening in London now, so boy, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I explain my situation basically to her growing up, and my father wasn't around because he was in the same situation as me.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that, we sit down and think about that and say, boy, you know, I'm happy to.
So that would, in a way, then, for your son, I mean, you wouldn't want it to kind of be a repeated cycle. So would you warn your son away?
Yeah, I mean, I want him to grow up and his father's not around. So that's the main reason, you know, because remember, you know, to me, confess is a lot, you know. I jeopardize, we can't lose everything, you understand me?
Yeah, no, of course.
I mean, enough men in my situation as well, and they can't say nothing because, number one, their wife probably hot-headed and won't listen, you know, and lead to other things. So, big up to my wife. She understood everything what I said. And other things we said, but we can't say it over this.
No, I don't want you to go too deep.
Yeah. But
I'm even glad you came on today just to say, you know, your piece, because you was the person I wanted to come on and this.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of things still. There's a lot still in my family, you know, but that was the main reason.
Yeah.
You know, I love children, I love my youths, them, you know? You know, so it's very important. Wife and husband negotiate and work out for the children. If they have children together, when men do cheat, or if we don't cheat, but guys, big up on yourself for there who's listening, you know?
Yes, man.
And that previous caller, he just hit the nail, the hammer on the...
Big up DJ Shaw, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but boy, brother, that was like facts, virgin.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know, ladies will love you, you know. Not all men cheat, isn't it? Yeah, but some men just need time to grow up.
Yeah, no, of course.
And when we grow up, we realize and, you know, we apologize and such. And again, women cheat as well, but one thing is on a different level, yo.
Yeah.
Because men don't investigate and all that thing there, you know? We have to hire. Yeah, we ain't got time for that, yo. We just want to make the money, you know? I look after you guys and make sure you're good. You understand me?
Yeah.
So big up to all the black Christians out there. We love on us still. You know?
Praises.
All the faith with us. All the faith. We're still growing.
Yes.
You know, to stick by us as a black race. You get me?
Yeah, man. Definitely, bro. No, thank you. I absolutely appreciate you, man. I'm so glad you came on the show today. Thank you.
Big up yourself.
Yes, have a blessed one, bro.
All right. Yeah.
Yes. It's a question for me though. This made me wonder and think. Like in our relationships, us as women, do we create like an environment or an atmosphere where our men feel comfortable enough to come to us about where they feel we're falling short or where we're not meeting their needs? Or are we too insecure and like, get our backs up and
Well,
act?
I think I think that is because, like he was saying, you know, men are raised to not show their emotions like that, not like, you know, because they think it's pansy, the word that you like to use. So, like in his case, he didn't feel that he could go to his wife and be like, "Rah, like you're not showing me no affection, you know, don't kiss me, we don't do this, we don't do that." So instead, his answer was to obviously step out and find someone else. To your question, I think probably that is the case. I think, like he said, that he doesn't want this woman to deem him as weak, coming to him and saying all of these things. And I think maybe also the woman might react in a way that say, "What do you mean I don't show you no affection? I cook, I clean, I rare." And that would be probably the answer that the woman would give their man if they did come to them and say, "You don't show me no love, no rare." I think we have to. Someone sent a message. Sorry, let me read this out because this is quite key. If what did they say? If a man doesn't feel valued, and if a man has, what did it say? If a man has to learn our love language, we have to take the time to get to know theirs. Very key. I think it's not to say, okay, obviously men and women are different. We approach things differently. So obviously with the whole cheating thing, so women would do it more calculated, where a man would just do their thing. Love language to a man is a bit different. I think men are not complex with how they want to be loved. Women are more complex, definitely. But we have to learn each other's love language. And we can't, as women, when a man says, "Look, I'm not, you know, I don't feel like you're showing me no love or no affection," we shouldn't react in a way where we're like, what are you talking about? Like, we have to be like, "Rah, babe, what would you want more of?" That's how we should really be responding. Now, I understand that, you know, in life, there's so much that we have to do, especially when there's children in the midst. We, you know, the cooking, the cleaning, making sure the house is, you know, in order, it's clean, you know, making sure when our man gets home, there's dinner ready, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, by the time you've done all of that, you're tired. You're not really trying to hear nothing else. So I do understand that aspect of things. But I like to coin the word that I like to say is heavenly strength. That Father, give me the strength, because we can't, you know, be like, "Oh, it's been a long day for me." And yeah, like men, especially like when they're coming home, is their sanctuary, isn't it? So the home is their sanctuary. So they want to know that when they come home, oh yes, my wife comes and greets me with kisses and hugs. "Babe, how's your day been?" This, that, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Men want that.
But you know what? Let me, because I think like, say like, let me give a scenario. Say like men, they're out on the road. But I'm talking about just within the truth now. I've got 2 points to make. So say like they're out on the road, they see this one's tied up, that one's tied up. So they're forced with seeing all of that, voluptuous, shapely, whatever. They've got to look at that all day when they're at work. And then they come home and you're wearing kaftan and you've got a headscarf. Yes. So then it's like, okay, yes, you're in the truth, but maybe in your own house, just wear small outfits when you're just, you know, so that when he's battled that in the world and then he's coming home and you don't look as appealing as what's out there.
Yes.
You could bring it up. And then I'm just thinking as well, like, if you are in the truth, for a man, obviously you can't step out. So for a man that is feeling unfulfilled, I just wondered, how would that play out? Like, what would be the response in a man that feels unfulfilled but knows like they'll get struck down if they step out? Do they become withdrawn and quiet? Like, how? Like, us women need to know to recognize the signs so that we then know we've got some damage control to do. We need to go and rescue the relationship. Because if men don't speak, what will be the physical signs? And people can let me know when I'm asking. I want to know.
No, that's interesting. Mark, you still there? You still there, bro?
Yeah,
You still there? Okay. What do you think to that? Because I know a lot of the times, you know, especially being in the truth, I think women find it hard to do the balance. So this is women that's obviously in the relationship, right? In the marriage. They obviously, we're coming to the truth, so now we're learning to be modest. But and I think even we've had this discussion, I think maybe beforehand, but it's like men still want that sexy in their woman, right? So yes, we have come into the truth. Yes, as women, yes, we need to be modest, but we still need to sexy it up for our man. So it's not to necessarily say we're going to be wearing, you know, skimpy, tight up clothes on road, but at least when we're at home, you know, we should sex it up a bit for our man. So what do you think, just in regards to what Shah said, like, what's your comments on that?
So yeah, I mean, I believe that, you know, what was just mentioned there about love language and having that right communication. So if you would discuss and have that open communication in terms of what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
Like for a man now, if you want to see a woman dressed a certain way, then you can get her that stuff and explain that, you know, this is the reason why. I like you in that, you know, and she may, you know, more warm to it in that sense. You understand? I feel it's difficult for men to communicate if they ain't getting enough attention, because this is what we're trained to do. As the brother was saying before, man's got to be tough. And, you know, the whole emotional thing, it's not accepted. But I think if women have the mentality of, you know, do try and connect with your man on an emotional level, on a personal level, to find out what it is he thinks, how he's feeling, and just be mindful of how you communicate to him. I think that is the key. You know, we've all got to grow. It tells us that in the Bible, it says that men should live with women and according to knowledge. But I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
And as long as you do that, then you should have a long-lasting relationship, because everybody's got to know, you know, both sides have got to know each other, their likes, their dislikes, and you should be able to communicate that. If I don't like this, you understand, this is what will stop cheating, full stop. And having that kind of openness and honesty, it creates more of a solid foundation. You understand? So that's how you stop cheating on a spiritual level, I think, or even in a practical level, indeed. Because once you see that every need is being met and taken care of, as long as you're honest and communicate both, then it should last, and it should always bring something new. Because one of the things that I do, personally, is I like to communicate and check in. You know, how are you feeling? How are you doing? These are simple little things that you can do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
But it opens, you know, this happened and rare. So it's like you need to be, as a partner, you need to be that de-stress. You know, one thing that all men are looking for is peace. And that's why a majority of them, if they've got a loud woman or woman that give them grief, they won't even bother. They will cheat on that woman or leave that woman.
Yeah, I hear you. There's couple comments coming through. Someone says, so true, sis, I've been saying this for years. Just because you are in the truth, it's not an excuse to be deliberately frumpy when outside, or keep yourself from being sexy for your husband in your home. Definitely, absolutely. Next comment says, number one, my experiences growing up and seeing men in my community with behavior, having a lot of women boasting of having many women. So I grew up with the mentality, adapt those behaviors, having sex from even a tender age, having one woman in my grown up man. Sorry, apologies. I'm trying to work out. And you laugh at calling all your names. One example, like one burner, hot plate, cold stove, and so on. Okay, so that's the nicknames you're all giving them. Number two, the fire is not there, like in the beginning when the spark was high. Love sometimes dies when a woman gets used to a man and not exercising what did make the spark high when we met. That's true. That is something that I heard as well before. The spark isn't like the beginning, so you got to keep the fire, as you always hear, keep the fire burning. Blah blah. So not exercising what we did when the spark was high, when you met the woman. We do all the things to get a brother dressed good, looking good, appearances, always on fleek. And as soon as they get used to a man, those things go basically out the window. Point number 3, the sex becomes average, grandpa style. Now I'm finished. No bedroom excitement in the clean way, not getting enough example of a man. Leave this women world ways, getting it 24/7. Change his life, settle down with a wife and getting it less than how he used to get it. Okay, then what it was in the beginning. Okay, I see what you mean, bro. Yeah. You know, I feel obviously with that comment, that's basically you have to keep the fire burning. And I do hear that a lot. Like I have conversations with people that's been married for almost 20 years and they say you have to keep the fire burning. Now, it's not the most easiest thing because again, life gets in the way, children get introduced and all sorts, but we have to, I guess you have to remember what was it that drove you together in the first place. So it's like being in the truth. What brought you into the truth? Keep that same zeal. So it's the same thing in the relationship. Keep the same fire when you both met. There was obviously that attraction. What was it? Because obviously it's not just the physical appearance of that person, of course, that's like number one. But what was it then that put you both together to say, yeah, now I want this? Like, what was it? So you kind of have to dive back to the beginning and then keep that same fire burning. But all right, let me see now. Let me see. Yeah, I do feel it's irrelevant. Okay, there's some other people that want to come in, but let me read some because there was some other, like I said, there was almost 30 comments. So let me read some of the other ones that came through. Okay, so someone says, lack of control, only explanation is lack of self-love and self-discipline. They believe they ain't receiving what they should be. And it always comes down to the man. No action should be fueled by outside forces, and that goes into all sin. And this is me speaking from experience. So I asked the brother, is it that women need to step up the game? And is it that women need to step up the game? And he said that it won't stop them from cheating. It's not anything to do with outside the man, but even the prettiest women get cheated on. So you know what is so mad? Because obviously whether, I don't know, with people listening, whether you follow obviously the media, entertainment media that is, yeah, a few years back, however many years we're going to go back now, obviously in the articles, Jay-Z had cheated on Beyonce. And someone brought to my attention that it doesn't matter how pretty you are deemed to be, right? It doesn't matter how pretty you are, you still can get cheated on. So again, it kind of draws back to the point of it's not just about what the woman has done. Sometimes it is purely or plainly physical. And that's quite a lot of the comments that's coming through from some of the brothers that have commented. All right. Next one. So it says men and women are sexually driven differently. Men need sex. We don't need sex. We don't want sex. We need sex. It's like a car needs petrol. It needs to function. So when women can stay without sex for a long time, men cannot do the same. We are always ready. Obviously, women go through their cycles. Point number 2, women with their husbands aren't giving their husbands the attention and desires they need. God created everyone with human desires, and not only women. Women aren't the only ones that need affection. If your wife doesn't give the men the attention that we need, then we will go outside to find the affection. Mostly when husbands cheat, it's just the case of the woman get complacent and doesn't make the husband feel wanted. Men love freakiness, and that's a fact. This is very important. Women need to keep their husbands focused at home. So they say explicit pics, send to him while he's at work, sexy underwear during sex, and consistently not stressing, nagging, complaining, and making it look like the world's all about them. Next point is, I agree, it's not right for men to cheat, but wives need to be aware of their husband's needs. And the last point is, both parties have desires. Yes, keep that in mind, ladies. Men do have desires and feelings. We were taught as a child not to show emotions and be strong mentally. So there's a lot stored up in us. What do you guys think about that comment? Yes. You still there? Shh, shh, shh. You lot still there? Oh yeah, okay. Sorry. What do you lot think about that comment? Obviously, again, it goes down to the woman within that comment anyway. It's down to the woman keeping the spark. So it's not just women that need affection, men need it too. Obviously, men don't tend to express the affections that they need, but they obviously need it. But that's, and obviously complacent was the word that he also used in that as well. Women do tend to get complacent.
I think that's a big one for women. They're getting, you do get like with the running of day-to-day life, you do kind of get a bit, well, very complacent. Like you stop doing your hair because you think, oh, I'm not going out today, I don't really need to dress up like that. But actually, your man wants to see you looking good. So I think that's one to be mindful of. We fall into that trap all the time.
So get rid of the headscarves.
Throw away those bonnets, ladies. Take them off before you wake up.
Is that true, bro? Is it, you coming home from work, you want to see a woman looking, a little sexy. You don't want to be seeing bonnets on their head. Is that true?
Well, listen, I think yes, because those are as you say, those are the distractions or the things that distract out there. Men are purely, well, not say purely, but more visual. And these are the things that, yeah, of course, if you want, as I said, if you want, as a man, if you want your woman to dress a certain way, you buy them certain clothes. She can't say, if she then turns around and says that, I ain't going to be wearing that, then whatever happens after that is down to her. So if you're willing to meet your partner's needs, then that will not be an issue. But yeah, I think it is a big one because this is something that we know goes on every day. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as well, it's so much. I personally think being sexual or partaking, it goes more than just on a physical level. There is also the emotional side of things. And as long as you're meeting those emotional needs, then there should be no need to cheat, either way, on either side, because I'm from a perspective that though I have not cheated, I've been cheated on, and there was a lot of things I was ignorant to. You understand? But I decided to educate myself, learn about, or understand from the female perspective what are the things. So love language was a big one.
Big one, yeah.
I never knew nothing about all of that. So it's for men to go back to the drawing board, well, men and women, and understand what makes the relationship work. Because otherwise there's no point getting into a relationship.
True.
You know what I mean? It's not a relationship. This is, you'd call it what it is. This is me getting my needs fulfilled, or do you understand? So you need to know exactly what it is. The question of what are we should not be one. It shouldn't be a question at all. You should know exactly what you're in and how far you're willing to go to maintain that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple comments coming through. Men should communicate their list of expectations for their home life at the start of the relationship instead of focusing more on the sexual side of the relationship. We could do cartwheels for them in the bedroom, but if he loved how his mum ironed his bedding, then every time he gets into a creased bed, he is going to be annoyed at his wife. So small issues can be big issues. I definitely hear what they're saying, boy. I think do you know what I think? And both of you, let me know. Relationships can be very awkward, especially if you've never been in one as well. And I say awkward in the sense that you want to communicate certain things to your partner, say, oh, babe, I like things like this or like that. And obviously him as well saying that. But I think we find it awkward. And then obviously what tends to happen is no one ain't saying nothing. No one's communicating. You're just thinking it all in your head. and then boom, something happens where the man might step out, or even the woman might step out, and you're thinking, "Raw, like why? Like why have you cheated on me?" So I don't know. Is that right? Is communicating awkward?
Maybe more so for the man. Because it's like, but I stepped out because you wasn't doing this, you wasn't doing that. But you didn't tell me I wasn't doing this. You felt unfulfilled. You pretended that you were okay.
Yeah.
But rather, you can answer that one because you're a man.
I think communication takes part in two different levels. It's one thing to speak, but you've also got to listen and to understand. So it may be that you can be with somebody that you completely don't understand each other, but the physical and everything is going on. So that is not enough to maintain any kind of relationship. I don't know if you guys remember a tune back in the day by City High.
Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah.
Or the other one?
Where they were talking. Yeah, no, the other one. It doesn't make no sense that why should we, if we can't even, we don't get along. You understand? Yeah. So I think what is key is when you're communicating that you understand each other, that you know where each other's coming from, you know exactly what you need to. So these are just keys to maintaining a relationship so that it doesn't lead to cheating on either side.
Yeah.
But communication is key, but it's not as simple a word as just what you're saying or what maybe not what you're not saying. Are you going to be sensitive to all of these things?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Let me read some of the comments coming through. So someone says you have to always have an open dialogue with your man, like a friendship, and be able to hear the hard facts without offense. That is so bloody key. That is so key. Absolutely. Because, like I said, it's like, during sex, there might be things that you like, things that he or she could be doing better. Do you understand? So you have to communicate, because if you don't, it does almost turn into a murmuring thing. You're murmuring even during, the act with your partner. So I think, without taking offense, it should be a thing where you can say, babe, I like it like this, I like it like that, whatever the case may be. And it shouldn't be awkward, but like I said, it can be quite awkward, especially if you've never really been in that kind of situation as well. If you're new to this, it can be quite daunting. Someone says, hold on, it's not just women. You got men looking like tramps, scratching and sniffing, coming to bed with some dry steps. Where's my sexy dance? Where's my sexy moves? What? I don't need sexy too. This one way sexy is annoying me. Women need sexy too. Whoa. What's your comments on that? What do you say, sis?
I said, I agree with the point.
Yeah.
But I think that even that in itself, that does show for the woman's mindset. So instead of us to say, okay, yeah, we recognize that we need to do better, we're like, but you need to be sexy too. You get it? So why we're always on a comeback, and this is why these issues don't necessarily get resolved. I mean, I fully agree with the point.
Yeah.
But then do we take the point to say, okay, acknowledge what you're saying, babe, blah, 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 and then say, but I would like, da, 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 da. It's always a defensive kind of, and then get on the, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ready to fire back.
Yeah. Next comment coming through says, I have a question. Why not just get with someone in line with you though? Women want a man who's handsome and keeps himself looking fresh and clean, etc. There's going to be times when he ain't looking fresh. So what? I'm not going to look past that and deep what's been built. So this bro talking about women keeping the fire burning, it goes both ways, sis. If two can't walk together, you can't agree in it. Also, perfect love casts out all fear. So then is it really love? Because ain't it one of those things where you've made an informed choice to choose this person? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I guess this really, I think, do you know what? Because obviously we would have to conclude, is it that communication is the key? Someone else wants to come in as well. But is it that communication is what, or rather, should I say, sorry, lack of communication, this is what is causing people to step out on one another? Is that it? Or is it even more deeper than just communication? What do you guys think?
I think that definitely plays a part, but there's more to it than just the communication aspect.
Yeah, someone's saying enough masculine energy, boy. And someone's saying, yeah, it is deeper than just that. Let me bring on this brother now, because he has been, no, not you, goodbye, Allah. Sorry, 1 second. I've got to give someone else a chance. 1 sec. Bear with me, guys. All right, let me try to bring this brother now. This is a deep topic, boy. Lord, and I still got a whole heap of more comments to go through, you know. Jeez, I'm ready to have to do a part 2, mate. Right. My bro. Wonderful. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, oh, okay, cool. You're coming through clear. All right, what's your comments?
Yeah, because I guess we was messaging about my experience because believe it or not, most of the things that were suggested, I did try. But I say my experience is I didn't go all the way. I was going down that route, about to like going towards cheating. At the time, I was coming to the knowledge of the truth.
Okay.
And once I got the knowledge of the truth, I was getting warning dreams about if I do this act, the negative effects are going to happen. So I didn't go full on. Yeah. But I know how I did get to that point. First and foremost, my main thing is men should have respect for themselves enough. I guess, yeah, no, they should, or be real with themselves enough to not land in that position, and that included myself, because I did communicate that I wasn't being treated the way I wanted to be treated. I did communicate my insecurities, and I'd admit the areas that I fall short in and how we could change it, but it was one-sided where I was willing, but the other party at the time was not. And I went through some deep situations as well that I wanted support, and I was reaching out to friends as well. Did have a couple that was there, but the two friends was there was one of my close guys and one of the women that I worked with, which in hindsight, that was stupid of me to also confide in a woman, because it's like, for you, you're having someone to talk to, but in their aspect is like, I just want you. And I'll listen because I want you, not because I actually care. Where I think, honestly speaking, hindsight, if I knew I was not going to get the support, because that was a good amount of time, I could have seen over the 2 years I wasn't going to get the support. I'm not going to pretend I don't make mistakes. I should have just left. I should have just, rather than speaking to someone else getting closer and closer, I should have been like, I'm not getting the support, bye. Yeah. And have that self-respect that I don't have to have those things tarnish my name going forward.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because when them things tarnish your name and people don't have the same respect level due to the angles you went down, it throws out further errors in your life that ain't really worth it. And so it's just like, if you're not getting the respect, I don't know, if you're married, it's different, because you just got to counsel that through until you get to the end of it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm talking from the aspect of being in the world and at the mindset it was at the time, and the amount of understanding I had at the time, the wisest thing to do would have been leave.
Yeah, no, I hear that, bro. I definitely hear that. It's a hard one, but I guess, you know, when you was put in that situation, what did you communicate with your partner at the time that could have obviously potentially made you step out on her? Did you communicate to say, look, like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that? Like, how was that received?
See, this is the thing. I've always been an open person. I'm not someone who hides things from people. I'll just be honest of what's going on with me. So we ain't going to have no awkwardness going forward, and you're going to be confused about my behavior. So I was just, when you get the truth, you start coming to terms with a lot of realities and confronting the demons that oppress you. And it was just like, one of my things was, I didn't even need her to do anything. It was just, I just need someone to talk to from time to time. Yeah. But when I wanted to talk, she would get angry rather than wanting to listen.
Okay.
Which is folly, really. Why are you in you see what I'm saying? On my side, it would have been wiser just to say bye, or at least take some space from each other, and at least, you know what I mean? But with understanding the whole picture, it would have been, and being in the world at the time, it would have been wisest to say bye.
Yeah, I hear that. I definitely hear that. I guess you kind of get to a point where it's like one of the other brothers said before, you know, they said, you know, it's like the thrill in the beginning, that chase, the hunt. And then sometimes you realize that, okay, the man only got with her not because of her looks or anything. You didn't really find her attractive in the first place, but you got in too deep and just thought, you know what, let's just go with this. Whether it's because children got involved or they just thought, right, I'm in too deep with this relationship now. Let's just see where it kind of goes. I guess you kind of get to a point, especially when you come into the truth, you realize that, right, like we're not equally yoked at all. That kind of sounds like your position at that time. You realize that, this ain't gonna work. Doesn't matter how much we try to make it work or whatever, you know, exercises we try to do to make it work with therapy or whatever, but you realize that we're not equally yoked. I think it happens to a lot of people stepping into the truth. They just can't get it together. So I guess this is one of those things. I get it. But I guess in your case, it's good that you didn't step out. Although I know that would have been, had you not obviously come into the truth, you probably would have. But
definitely would have. I wasn't even attracted to the other woman. It was just, you know, sometimes the one who's supportive of what you're trying to achieve, it becomes an attachment. But
so
I'll admit it was folly. Still, it was like you would just have some respect for yourself and just say, if you're not going to do what's required, I'm trying my best to do what's required on my side, and you just don't care. Bye. That would have just been.
So it
like,
does.
Why hold on?
It does.
You know what I
mean? To the point that someone made, that just get with the person who you know you can be with. Don't, you know, do this to and fro-in business. Just no. And I guess that's why it does boil down to the whole courting thing, why courting is so important, because these are the stages where it's going to be a yay or it's going to be a nay, rather than obviously in the world you get with that person already, you know, you've become bedmates before really getting to know each other. And I think it's really important, it is important to set the foundations properly from the beginning, so you know what you're both dealing with. But bro, thank you for that, man. I appreciate your call. That's wonderful. Did you have anything else to add to that?
No, that was pretty much it. I think that was just that angle of communication. It requires both to be willing in order for it to work. You know what I mean? And it was just to say, I just thought, even including myself, it's folly to go down the route of cheating because you're not getting treated the way you're supposed to. Either find a way to enforce it or put some level of separation in place that can stop that spirit from coming on you to lust after someone else. Because when you cheat, you do damage to yourself as well, not just the woman you're with and not just the other person. You damage yourself same time.
It's a domino effect, isn't it? Like someone was saying, then sometimes a child outside ends up coming into the picture and it's just a whole lot of drama. So I definitely hear that. Thank you for that, bro. I truly appreciate your comments, man. Thank you. All right, so some more comments that have come through. Let me see. So sometimes the men want to communicate, but women are good at manipulating. You're too nagging as a man, KMT. Do you know what? Shah, I want to ask you this as well. Do you think as women, this is something that I try to exercise to not do, is to be nagging. But I don't know, sometimes I guess you kind of have to find the balance, right? So you don't want to be a nagging wife, but at the same time, obviously, you have to communicate certain things, especially if it's detrimental. But where do you strike that balance of nagging, but not too much?
I think like I've heard this so many times when men say, "I want a woman that's annoying."
Yeah.
Depends what she's nagging. I think that will go down to how you're saying the thing that you are not happy with, or that the tone you create, or how you're saying it. I think that's men don't like that. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But then there are things that men don't understand. When a woman's saying something to you 10 times, and then you're still not doing the thing, what more do you want her to do? Of course, she's got to keep nagging because you're not doing it. So what do you want her to do? But I get the nagging point. That's a big one.
Yeah. And I guess some comment said that you're too nagging as a man. Kiss my teeth. Do men nag? Mark, do they do that? Do they do you men nag? Because I don't know, like I guess men do it in a different kind of way, in a sense. Do you lot nag?
It would only be for the reason of what, as we said, the issue, the subject we are talking about. But I'm saying not generally, no. I mean, men are more logical, so they are the sort of and even when it comes to understanding how men operate, women need to understand that just because we don't jump up and do exactly something at that time doesn't mean that we're not even thinking about it, or it's not on our agenda. It may be that the man's just gone away in his cave and he's processing and thinking about doing certain things. Now, I've learned from personal experience, like from growing up, whenever my mum used to nag or start talking about things that weren't done, I used to immediately just start doing them just to shut her up. So I don't know if that will help the brothers out there that might be having the nagging about certain things. And the other good thing to do is whatever she says, just put it in a little journal, put it down on a to-do list. Do you understand? Because that, again, will stop the nagging. You won't necessarily feel like, sure, you know what? I just want to go out there and find someone that ain't going to be nagging me all the time. And that's the key thing. If you understand where that man is coming from, like let's say his mum used to nag him, he's not going to want a nagging wife. Do you understand?
And those
things are going to really run him up the wrong way, and he's going to be like, sure, you know what? I don't want to go home. You know what I mean?
I know why you're laughing, Sean, because
he's outside of the house just meditating and like, yo, I don't want to go in there, because man forgot to take the bin out. You might be all thinking. She's going to start.
The woman feels like she's not listened to, and if a woman feels like she's not listened to, we go into shutdown mode.
Women go into shutdown mode.
Yeah, she feels like she's not listening to. She's not going to say it again, and she's going to shut down. She's not going to communicate. You're going to see she's going to be withdrawn. She might be more quiet, and
that's another good
all the while
reason.
she's cussing you in her mind.
That's what I said about the murmuring.
I know, but it's like the battle of the sexes. How do you win? What is right? What is? I believe that everything has to be. It takes a level of compromise to know that okay, these are the things that I like, and like I have to be reminded. Yeah. It's not that men, and I think that's a big reason why men need women, and it's almost operating in the same way as the Holy Spirit, because that's what the Holy Spirit does. She reminds. So I would not take it as a nag, but it's how you go about it. It's how there's a way to communicate that will get a man. You know what I mean? Women are masters at sort of manipulation, or being able to have that sway when it comes to men. So there's things that you can do.
Yeah.
That, would make it would be like an incentive for that man to do what,
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
I hear you, bro. I fully hear that.
We all have our needs to be met, and I know a woman likes things done and the man to be, but yeah, I think as long as you communicate and meet each other's needs, then everything will work.
Some comments coming through. Someone says it's temptation, and sometimes it's who the environment you hang around in. It's a physical thing for men than emotions. I think sometimes it's culturally. Sometimes it's a cultural thing. That's interesting. Somewhat. I hear what you're saying. They also said like no age. This is from the comments from way before. But it said no, the age thing is nonsense. I've seen older men cheat too. And someone says if we was reading our Bible from long time, the Proverbs 31 teaches us to be the woman and the wife. The husband respects her. Maybe we would have less cheaters. Maybe in capital letters. And sometimes cheating happens when you're with the wrong person. I guess it does go back down to being equally yoked, but at the same time, there's so much different aspects which we're obviously finding through this conversation today, that it's not just one thing. There's so much different aspects to why and what can lead a man or woman to cheat, right? All right, let me bring you back on, bro. Make sure you're on point, please. Where are you? Right, I'm going to bring you on now. And let's get your points. Any other points, guys? Let me know. I'm trying to think what I'm going to go and bring this into. Right. Bro, can you hear me? You're very low. You're very, very low, like far away. No, you're very far away.
Is this better now?
A little. What are you on? Speaker, headphones?
No, it's really your speaker.
Take me off speaker.
Okay, all right. Is it better?
A tad bit. Just speak up. Yeah, go on. What's your point?
This is better, yeah?
A little bit. You're a bit echoey though.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. You want to ring me back in 2 seconds?
Yeah, I can do. I'll read some of the comments. All right, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
All right, so let me read some of the other comments that came through. So this one says from my brother says conquering spirits. So it says man want to conquer everything, land, money, women, which in essence boosts ego, is really just vanity. That's interesting. What do you think about that, bro?
What was that? Men want to conquer everything.
Everything, yeah. So they say land, money, women, which in essence boost ego and is really just vanity.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all men.
Yeah.
There is that predominance. A man wants to be the king of his house or wants to be the leader in his relationship. And yes, he loves it when he's praised and made to feel like a superhero. So that could, in terms of it being a reason for being selfish or narcissistic or not considered, I don't think it's enough or it's accurate. But obviously for the carnal man, that might be the case. Where there's no reasoning or there's no boundaries. Yeah, you will get into that phase, especially if you know for a fact you have some swag or something about you that women love. Then you will want to conquer all.
Yeah. Do
you understand? So, but those people that put you are the ones that put you in that sort of mindset. You realize that, hey, I can have it all. So yeah, who wouldn't? It still comes back to that having that simple mentality.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not going to be all men. Not all men have sway and swag and have it like that. So you know.
Boy. Okay. Let me now try and bring in my bro. Let's make sure I'm still live here. Okay, wonderful. All right, let me bring you in again, bro. Make sure you're obviously in a place that is not so echoey. Someone said you was on the toilet. Right. Let's see. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Very, very well.
Right. You do sound a bit better. All right. What's your point?
Am I live?
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, the moral of the story, to everybody listening right now, you should not cheat. Hello?
Go on.
Yeah, you should not cheat. We can discuss and dialogue. We can dialogue and say what we the different stuff. But you should not cheat. The moral of the story is you should not cheat. You understand?
So is that what you wanted to say? Come off my line, man. Cha. Anyway, so let me go into the other comments. Bro and sis, you still with me?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh Lord.
This guy. Anyway, as I was saying, you know what? This is gonna have to turn into a part 2, you know, because there's still loads, and I mean loads of comments from the brothers. So let me read this last one, and we'll conclude. And we're gonna have to try this next week, because otherwise this will go on for the next 5 hours. Right. So a comment that came through said that men are driven by their own lust. It's something deep seated in them that they have to learn to manage for their entire life. They then only need a justification to act out the lust. The justifications, are all the excuses that you hear of. Could be the opportunity just presented itself to cheat. It could be problems with your other half, or she could be lovely. It could be knowing deep down, you know, you made a mistake about in choosing the one that you're with, quite common, and not having the guts to admit it. The girl is prettier or even not, or she could be lovely and you just fancied some sex with another woman. Ego is a big one and much more. I have never cheated, but these thoughts have run through my mind and through others on this subject. Last point, depression is a big one too. That's interesting. The statement, sex is a drug, is so true. When a dude is taking lots of L's in life, then sex is an outlet. Wow. What do you guys think of that? That very last point in regard to depression and taking loads of L's in life. So use sex as an outlet, I guess, to compress that depression. What do you think of that?
Use it as an outlet. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that is fair and accurate. I'm not saying anything in the contrary. Men need sex, and I believe women equally so. But it all depends on how you're gonna channel it. And basically, this is the issue. The real issue isn't really about all the things that go on in life, because if you are stressed, I think more from a woman's perspective, it's more of a stress relief, because when you think about it, they got a lot more to kind of deal with, and even though they've been made a certain way, for a man, I think he's got more options. A man who has more options. So therefore, this is the reason ultimately why men cheat, because they know that at the end of the day they could either pay for it, they could, they could find somebody, or there's various different ways. I think for a woman, that she's more geared up to being faithful.
Yeah,
and that's for decent women that are out there. But yeah, they're more geared up to being faithful and only accepting it from one place. And I think that is ultimately the issue. And yeah, the stress thing does come into it, but I think more so for the women. I don't know if people would disagree with that, but from what I've heard and what I've been told, yeah.
That's a deep one, bro. I just realized it's also gone to an ad break as well. But yeah, I've got that in recording, so that's perfect. Oh my gosh. Yes, we're going to have to do a part 2, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you know what? The reason why men cheat, there are so many. And it's all to do with how you manage a relationship.
Yeah.
Now, for me personally, I've adopted this theology or point that if it ain't kingdom, I don't want it, and that means that I'm holding myself up to that standard as well. So everything that we're told and instructed to do to maintain a relationship is key to all relationships that we have, and I've seen that through the scriptures. So there's no excuse. You know what I mean? The word says it. As long as you live by it and follow the principles, you will have that success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro. Definitely.